King may be the most appropriate name for the undisputed king of horror, Stephen King. He's written quite a few novels that have inspired countless films and television shows, and if you think Infinity War is the most ambitious crossover event in history, then you don't know King. His novels aren't just constantly referencing each other, they're also filled with lore popularized by other thrilling tales. One of King's most underrated pieces of literature is a novel he co-wrote with Peter Straub called The Talisman. This novel chronicles the tale of a young boy named Jack Sawyer in search of a talisman that has the power to save his mother, who has terminal cancer. During his journey, he runs into some trouble that has to do with a parallel universe inhabited by human doppelgangers and other evil creatures that get in his way. Jack isn't alone in believing in the healing power of talismans. For centuries, humans have attributed magical powers to these objects. While they don't necessarily have to be jewelry, many famous talismans throughout history take the form of basically giant pendants. Strap in, gang, this video is about to take a weird turn. Bezoars are stones found growing inside of certain animals. They can be formed by impacted, indigestible food, fibers, and hair, or a buildup of calcium or magnesium phosphate. Yeah, I know, pretty gross, right? And no, I'm not just trying to gross you out, to make sure you're paying attention. Through the 16th century, people actually believed these stones had healing powers. They claimed that these stones were actually tears from a deer. Little did they know, many of them came out the other end. Awkward. The legend says the deer would eat poisonous snakes, which gave them such intense stomach aches that the deer would start to cry. Their tears would then turn to stone. Because these rocks were created from the tear ducts of animals that consume poisonous snakes, folks believe that they could actually cure diseases. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, I guess you could. Because of this wild theory, people would collect these stones and encase them in ornate gold carvings, sometimes adorned with jewels. These non-precious rocks could grow rather large, giving a jeweler license to create some pretty ornate designs to surround them. This large Bezoar currently lives in Germany at the Kunst Museum. It rests on a solid gold hoop studded with emeralds, with an emerald set crown on the top, which is quite a throne for a piece of petrified dookie. But it's not really talisman-y. For that, consider these alpaca Bezoars, which are made of mostly calcium and hair. These are traditionally smaller stones, so they were made into gold pendants. But of course, there's more to talisman lore than just calcified hairballs. The Talisman of Charlemagne is probably more of what you were expecting me to talk about. So as a palate cleanser of sorts, let's dig in. The Talisman of Charlemagne is a 9th century engolpion, meaning a fancy pendant that priests wear that may have belonged to Charlemagne. He was the first recognized emperor of Western Europe after the fall of the Roman Empire, and famous haver of a singular moniker. The connection to Charlemagne isn't exactly provable, but let's hope it is. The Talisman of Trevor doesn't have nearly as good of a ring to it. This talisman gets its alleged mystical powers from the claim that it contains a piece of the cross on which Jesus was crucified. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. There was another claim that it also contained a few strands of the Virgin Mary's hair between the center sapphires. Also not true. But these stones, one of which is now replaced with glass, sit within a gold filigree studded with other gems, including pearls and emeralds, which are quite real. King's description of the talisman in his novel is pretty ambiguous. It definitely looks nothing like a Bezoar or Charlemagne's talisman. The only representation of it I could find was on the book's cover. It's usually thought to be similar in appearance to the orbs in Marilyn's Rainbow. This wouldn't be the only time King uses imagery like this in one of his novels. His Dark Tower series takes the idea of crystal balls and kicks it up a notch, with the 13 orbs in Marilyn's Rainbow. These stones contain special powers, which is a given. They were created by a wizard. Some stones have the power to transport, and others allow the user to see into other worlds. These orbs run the color gamut, with the black 13th orb representing the evil within the void between worlds. Crystal balls are popular mystical objects that have been used by many who claim to be clairvoyant. Whether they're actually seeing anything or not, and I lean towards the not because of science, these orbs actually do have some interesting optical properties. Crystal balls are essentially double convex lenses, meaning that they can bend and focus light in interesting ways. This comes in handy when engineers are trying to amplify signals from fiber optics, emitters, and other detectors. Several light sources hit the surface of the ball lens, and because of the refractive properties of the material and the shape, the sources come together on the other side as a unified beam. Do you believe in the healing powers of livestock excrement? Let us know down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. For more information on the topics we discussed in this video, check out the links below. Thanks for watching, guys.